So right now we're here at the Pantages Theatre, right here on Hollywood Boulevard. And this is the first of a few theatres that we're going to come across this afternoon. Now this one is apparently, it's got two ghosts. A singing woman who is said to have died here on the mezzanine in 1932, and the one and only Howard Hughes. Now Hughes RKO Pictures bought the Pantages in 1949, and he had the offices on the second floor, and employees over the years say that they've seen his apparition there. And coincidentally, look what they're showing right now, the Phantom of the Opera. So this is the Ricardo Montalban Theatre, and this was established in 1926, and it features mostly varied performances with an emphasis on Hispanic artists. It's even got a rooftop theatre. Like so many of the buildings on this famous boulevard, it's got its ghosts. Some have been seen, others felt. Objects have been seen to move on their own, and lights have been turned off and on. However, although the theatre is said to comprise of largely friendly ghosts, there are reports of a dark masculine presence in and around the men's restroom on the second floor. So behind me, you can see the Knickerbocker. Now it's got nothing to do with ice creams, but this is now a senior living facility. And no, I'm not going to check Steve Parsons in. I have thought about it, but I'm not going to. And it might be one of the most haunted buildings in Los Angeles, or at least that's the reputation anyway. It was built as an apartment building in 1925, then became a fancy hotel. Rudolph Valentino is now said to haunt the bar, Marilyn Monroe supposedly hangs out in the ladies' room, and there are lots of assorted other sightings. And there's plenty of other fodder. Director D.W. Griffith died in the lobby, and actress Frances Farmer was arrested in the hotel on her way to insanity. But it's perhaps most notable for its non-haunting. After Harry Houdini's death on Halloween 1926, his widow Bess attempted to contact him every year for 10 years with a séance on the roof of the Knickerbocker. So this rather sad, forlorn-looking building behind me is the Pacific Theatre, or as more commonly known, the Warner Pacific Theatre. The Hollywood Pacific. Claimed to not just be historic, swanky and famous, but one of the very scary places to check out in Los Angeles. Originally known as the Warner Brothers Theatre or Warner Hollywood Theatre, this Italianate Beaux Arts building opened its doors on April the 26th, 1928. It served as a movie theatre until around 2006 and was then used as a church. However, that closed in 2013 and remains so, which is quite sad. Just like the story of the ghost that supposedly haunts it, that of its original owner, Sam Warner. The famous film producer died just before its completion, but it's claimed his spectre has been sighted inside by several witnesses, including security guards. So here I am at Larry Edmonds Bookshop here on Hollywood Boulevard. Now if you're anything like me, if I see a bookshop, I've got to go in and have a look. But this one's got an added bonus. It's apparently haunted. Larry Edmonds Bookshop has been in business for over 70 years, having opened in the 1940s. With an inventory of over 500,000 movie photographs, 6,000 original movie posters and 20,000 motion picture and theatre books, it's an absolute movie lover's paradise. Sadly, Larry Edmonds never got to appreciate the success. He was a heavy drinker and died soon afterward opening the shop, aged just 35. It's his ghost which is reportedly sighted here, and let's hope he's having a good read. So behind me is Bordner's by LaBelle. Bordner's by LaBelle on North Cherokee Avenue was built in 1942, and this dimly lit icon, complete with Art Deco bar and dance floor, is the place to be, which is perhaps why it's reputedly haunted by a number of ghosts. These have apparently been responsible for the sounds of footsteps, unusual noises, and electrical items such as radios and TVs turning themselves on and off. Located in the heart of Hollywood Boulevard, the Hollywood Wax Museum has quite a haunted reputation. It even once had a sign warning visitors that it's haunted. There are reports of employees witnessing a white mist suddenly appearing inside, as well as cold spots, phantom footsteps, and doors opening and closing on their own. Near the Last Supper exhibit, disembodied voices have been heard and a woman has been seen praying on a bench. She's typically seen in the early morning before the museum opens or late at night. So we've arrived at the Chinese Theatre right here on Hollywood Boulevard. It's been cleaned up a bit since Iron Man made a bit of a mess of it. An actor named Victor Killian, best known as the Fernwood Flasher on a US show called Mary Hartman, is said to haunt the forecourt at the Chinese Theatre. Killian lived near the theatre and was beaten to death in his home in 1979. Some stories say it was burglars, others say he invited up a man from a nearby bar. Does his ghost haunt this iconic Hollywood Boulevard location? And just on the other side of the road from the Chinese Theatre is the Roosevelt Hotel. The Roosevelt Hotel competes with the Knickerbocker for the most celebrity hauntings. Marilyn Monroe supposedly appears in a full-length mirror from Suite 1200, where she stayed when she first started to become famous. Montgomery Clift is said to hang out in and around room 928, where he lived while shooting From Here to Eternity. One psychic says he's also detected Humphrey Bogart, Carmen Miranda and Betty Grable. There's also a cold spot in the Blossom Room, the first home of the Oscars, near where a dapperly dressed 30s-era man is said to hang around. The iconic Hollywood sign on the south side of Mount Lee, which was built in 1923 and not actually created for the movie industry, is said to be haunted by the ghost of Broadway star Peg Entwistle. This British stage and screen actress, who was born in Port Talbot, Wales, died when she jumped from the H on the 16th of September 1932. She was just 24 years old. Some people say they've seen a female figure actually making the jump. Walkers have allegedly reported seeing her ghost in the vicinity of this landmark, whereas others claim to have smelled her perfume around there. Although how they know her fragrance, I'm not quite sure. Built around the 1950s, the Highlands Garden Hotel is where rock and roll legend and singer Janis Joplin died as a result of a heroin overdose on the 3rd of October 1970. She passed away in room 105, and since that time it's claimed that her apparition has been sighted in various parts of the hotel by staff and visitors. It's now 6 o'clock on Thursday evening, and we've had a good look around the haunted locations on Hollywood Boulevard and the streets that run off it. It's such a busy, hectic place, Hollywood. Some people described it as being quite dirty, but I thought it was alright. So unless they've had a bit of a big clean-up operation in the last 3 years, I think it's a pretty cool place. A bit later on we're going to be going on the ghost tour with Haunted Hollywood tours, which I'm really looking forward to, and hopefully there'll be some more stories that we haven't covered today in that. Hollywood's Haunted Tours meets at Sweet Hollywood, the giant candy store right above Hard Rock Cafe in the Hollywood and Highland Mall. There's even an Elvira boutique if you're into the Mistress of the Dark. I mean, if you're really into Elvira, this place has got to be like your heaven, or hell, depending on your point of view. I remember seeing the film once, but it's not something I was ever really into. Perhaps I need to revisit that particular movie. It's a rather revealing little number. Plenty of t-shirts if that's what you want. Oh wow, look at this car. This is absolutely incredible. This is the car that she actually used in her TV show. Although I'm not too keen on the interior, it's a bit too Bette Goodyear. Loving the number plate though. Not as good as Ghost RV, but it's still quite good.